Well, you've spun the dial and landed on this merry band of outsiders here. There, I read something from my notes. And just in time for season 3 of Mandalorian.
Yes.
Here's Del, Monica, and Jelly, aka the Gandalorians.
Ay, we lie.
Yan hindi scripted
That was
yan.
so good.
When did you think about that?
Just right now because
Kasi nagagandahan ka sa amin, di ba? Di ba yun? Diba?
Grabe, guys. On this day, the 8th of March, when we're releasing first, aka International Women's Day. Did I get it right?
Yes, International Women's Day.
Nice. So here we
Ngayon
are
Gandalorians. I love
with
it.
the Gandalorians. This is Jude Rocha. Go ahead, Jelly.
No, I was gonna say, ngayon lang tayo, mga Gandalorians kasi International Women's Day. After this, wala na. Tapos na yun.
May expiry ba yan? Wala.
Meron, Jude, meron.
Seasons.
Meron.
It's just seasons, guys. There is no date of expiry. Best before use.
Yes.
There is nothing like that. It's just having the time to be able to see this through.
Uh-huh.
Wrinkles and all.
I
Yeah.
like that.
But if we can stop the wrinkles, sana.
Look at you. You did that face. So that's how you're gonna look like.
No.
You don't want to. You don't want to be Madonna.
No, that's true.
Trying to defend her.
That's true.
being bullied because she decided to make enhancements that a lot of people feel
Too much?
maybe went a little bit too far. Yeah.
yeah.
My only
little
wish
bit?
for Madonna, because it's okay, you're aging, but she can still move. She's agile. Madonna, please bring back your eyebrows, because no
Where'd it go?
eyebrows scare me. Like it's gone. It's like everything else about her is just
It's bleached.
great. Yeah, I know. I don't know. She shaves it. I don't know. It's a thing that it's a season that she's in right now. But just put back your eyebrows. You know.
Whenever I see her photos of her daughter Lourdes, I'm reminded of the Madonna that I grew up with. Right?
Same.
Just that
What's your favorite
beautiful
Madonna? What's your
features.
favorite phase
True
of
Blue.
her?
That her
I
True
love
Blue.
True Blue. I love that.
The Marilyn Monroe-ish
Yes,
phase
yeah.
of hers.
But
Yeah,
with
material
dark
girl.
eyebrows. Remember that? She had super blonde hair, almost platinum blonde. And then her eyebrows were dark.
Right.
Which showed off her real Italian dark, the darkness of the beauty. And it was like, why is it's there's something wrong, but for some reason it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
It worked.
That era, that Madonna era is so good.
I like the one with Ray of Light. I also like Ray of Light era. And the
dancing
Evita
Madonna.
one.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, the Shanti Madonna.
Pero ang galing, no? If you think about it, she really reinvents herself, and yun talaga yung phases and seasons. That Madonna.
Well, that's how everybody followed suit, right? Because she seemed to be a chameleon, offering people a different version of her in every stage of her life. And I remembered she took up the guitar sometime in her 40s when she was playing Evita Peron. And it's like, I was so inspired. Parang, wow. I love that attitude. Like, I'm going to learn at 40-something how to play the goddamn guitar.
Right.
And it gives me hope. So magigitara na rin ako, guys.
Why not? It's never too late to learn. Look, Jelly's learning Korean. I'm learning.
Sabay iyak.
I'm learning how to dance in public with people and not be ashamed.
What's that about? Wait a minute.
Yeah, remember when I tried to dance the BTS on choreography? I mean, it's only been once, but I have yet to find a
In
choreography.
public?
Yeah, in public, meaning in a studio.
In a studio.
With other people.
students.
What? Oh.
And
Hindi
it's
naman
Jude
sa
doesn't
Guadalupe,
know
Jude.
about this story.
Yeah.
You don't know this story?
Yet another
you
story
shared
I
that
don't
with
know
us.
about.
Oh, yeah. Oh no. No, it's just you shared that with us when we were all out, when we were at the beach.
Oh.
No. You shared it
here
in the
on the show.
podcast.
Yes, in
Oh,
the
oh,
podcast.
shoot. I'm in trouble
One of
now.
those moments where Jude tuned us out. Thanks, Jude. Follow me nga on IG
Sabi-
kasi. Would you just like my posts?
Which one? Oh, okay.
All of them. I'm just kidding. Okay, anyway.
All of them. Don't
All of
I?
them.
Because I
Fine, I'll
like
do
all
it
your
now.
posts.
Apparently not, Jude.
I mean, because like, how else will you
Okay.
be updated with my life if not through IG? Gosh, Jude.
Don't we see each other every week?
I know.
Sabi niya, that's enough though. That's enough. That's enough information.
Once a week is enough.
Yeah. Once.
All right. Get ready.
These are the moments I wish we were still on video for each episode. Para nakikita nila.
Oo nga. Monica, naka-sync lahat nung ano natin by the way. In
Oh,
case,
really?
yeah,
Okay,
they're
okay.
all more or less they're synced. So,
Okay, I can do that. I can edit that.
but then we can decide not to because video. But they're all synced.
All
so.
right. Okay, sige. Starting this one.
Gusto ko na sige, video. Tapos sabay nag-aayos.
Okay, anyway, yeah, so I danced. I attended a class where they taught a bit of choreography.
Did you now? Wow.
Yes. And it was very out of my comfort zone because I don't like that. I mean, I don't have any confidence in my dancing. And it was a choreo. So it was like, and oddly enough, a little young girl, her name's River. She's one of David's best friends. She was my main inspiration and motivation. She really pushed me. She's like, Tita Monica, let's do this. And I said, well, if this 10-year-old is telling me to do it, I'm going to go and do it. I had so much fun. And I really didn't care that I looked like a complete idiot. And I was just basically following the general direction of the choreo to keep in time with everybody else. So. Anyway, so what was my point? Yes, we're all learning something new. Jude is learning. What are you learning?
Nothing. To be
No,
patient.
I know what he's learning.
To be
Yes.
patient. Yes, to be
What am
patient.
I learning, Del?
To cross our boundaries.
That's something I look forward to every time.
I know.
We record.
You know, if being mean to us makes life really worth living, Jude. If that's what it takes to make you have your joie de vivre. No.
I will say with certainty that I take no distinct pleasure in being this way with you.
Talaga.
Talaga?
Bullshit na yung drink eh.
Okay, ako
You be
dun.
you, I be me.
Yeah.
Okay yung
Okay, sige.
You do you.
You do you. You do you.
Yes, as long as you are living. If you don't
Not
know what this
being,
part is about, check out Eavesdrop Radio.
Not being killed off by Jelly Victor because she's tired of all my antics directed at her. So
Oo, kami ni Monica talagang may popcorn nanonood.
Teka, bakit nga tayo nagre-record ng Saturday uli?
Okay, it's on. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Pero sinabi din ni Jude last time, as long as the three of you are okay with the schedule,
Yep.
I am good. Ayun. So, I remember that.
The addendum to that, as long as I trade barbs.
As long as you're given
Okay,
permission.
sandali lang. Pause. Kasi sabi niya, as long as I get to trade barbs. Samantalang nung binring up ko yan a few episodes ago, sabi niya, what barbs?
Siyempre, I absorb what, I don't, barbs is not even in my vocabulary, but, I just absorbed that from Del kasi barbs. Dude, barbs.
Hoy, tabahimik ka. Anong you don't know what that means? Actually, in Wikipedia, pag tinignan nyo yung what is the definition of a barb, picture nun si Jude Rocha. He is the expert on barbs.
This is how this podcast and partnership gets going. You will miss those barbs if the time comes in the...
Jude, stop that.
Ayan na naman.
Hindi pa ako tapos eh. Ikaw naman, pinapastop mo na ako when the time comes in the very distant future. O yan. Distant future.
Very distant. So distant.
Malayo,
Like Jude's heart.
malayo-layo pa ang tatakbuhin natin whether we like it or not. So,
Actually, hindi na tayo tumatakbo, Jude eh.
we're hobbling along. Hobble.
Ay, biglang nasadeno sa idea na hindi na tayo tumatakbo.
Parang pagod na kayo kasi tawa kayo ng tawa eh. Ano ba?
Actually, whose fault is
Kanina
that?
pa kayo eh.
Oo nga, Jude. Whose fault is that? You and Jelly are to blame. It's me and Monica who are the anchors of the
Spectators.
show.
Yeah.
No, spectators.
Ay, baka pwede na natin gawing 20-minute episode. Tinan mo, maraming makikinig.
Is what he's
Guys.
always been saying, guys. Okay, that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Ayan, may magme-message
Let
na
it
naman
be
sa atin.
Yeah.
In Filipino. Na marami namang nakikinig.
Marami dyan, tinan mo, nasa charts tayo guys. Matutuwa
By the way-
yung PNA sa atin.
Charting.
Hindi kasi tayo katuwa-tuwa.
Ano tayo?
my
Legacy
God.
podcast ng PNA. One of the, how many? First 5 was it? And now there's
First
like 500.
7.
First 7. Well, there you go.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yes. Pioneers, man. Oh, shit. We're that old. Diba? That's always the thing when you host before. When I used to host before. Yung mga the pioneers. I mean, they give them awards. Tapos pag nakita mo, okay, there's a corresponding age in this pioneer section.
Pioneers, Hall of Fame, yung mga ganun.
Yan.
Parang okay.
Oo, that's it. Lifetime achievement.
There you go.
Okay. I don't know.
I want to get something like that.
Okay, basta present tense hindi past tense.
Posthumous.
And, or worse, posthumous.
I know.
Posthumous, wala ka na talaga.
Oh no.
Well, we all get there, diba? Sabi nga sa The Last of Us. It's just
In the
some of us
distant
get
future
there.
na rin. In the distant future din yan, Del. Wag muna. Wait, can we talk about etiquette? I brought this up with you guys earlier when we were starting out because I just, it's very basic, I feel, na we're missing nowadays. I don't know about
Did
your
we ever
experience,
have
but
it?
Oh, that's a good question. So, just so I'll have to set the scenario. When we started recording, I was telling the gang that I was in a flight, and while waiting to board, people just had on full volume whatever it was that they were watching. No earphones, no headphones. And I noticed the same thing with people getting into the elevator. Lalo na if you're going up like high floor, so medyo matagal kayo and you're stopping at every single level, people are just consuming stuff at full volume. And I feel like, are we just not aware that it should be silenced? Or ano ba yung nangyayari sa Pilipinas lang ba yan? Because I know I came across a TikTok that in Japan, talagang they will really scold you.
Yeah,
if it's
especially on the
audible.
train.
Oo,
On the
especially,
train,
yes.
bawal.
Kaya nga, parang, sa Pilipinas lang ba to? Especially for our listeners based abroad, please share your experiences with this. What's the etiquette? And is this something that needs to be verbalized for people to be aware of it?
Yeah.
And ako lang ba ang naiinis pag ganun kaingay?
You're not
Hindi,
not
pati si
alone.
Jude.
Yun, alam na natin yun.
Rinig ko yung nag-share ka ng picture ng nasa aeroplano ka. Naririnig ko yung katabi mo nanunod ng malakas. Nag-share kasi si Jelly ng, was it a photo?
Photo.
A photo. You were flying
photo on the plane,
to,
yeah.
Right.
to yet another hosting event.
Thank you, by the way, to MiceCon 2023.
Uy, oh, look, they're being nice to each other, Del.
Ano ba yan?
What's wrong? What's wrong here? What's wrong?
Sinegoy kasi ni Jude, pwede ako mag-shoutout. So, nag-shoutout na ako.
Yeah. But I think, Jelly, I mean, it's more like it's one of those, we got to chalk it up to people who just are not aware and they're not being told that it's wrong. You know, I mean, maybe we can all do our little part in society. And if that happens to you, like kind of, I don't know. But how would you tell them? Like, hey, your volume's a little loud. Can you say that? Or do you give them a side eye and just tell them? Because I think they're very unaware. I think that's what it is. Most of the time with etiquette, you're unaware that you are being rude.
Or just the people who walk into elevators, like in a group, and they're like laughing and so loud, you know, not caring that there are other people in the elevator.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I try to tell David that. I mean, I guess that's the only way. And then David and his friends, para they'll remember. And maybe they'll grow up to be people who, maybe they'll tell other people not to do it. You know, parang ganun.
I think there should be like what do you call this? Like an announcement on the train, you know, on LRT, MRT, just to give people that reminder.
That awareness.
Yeah, a lot of people, let's break it down why it's not good to listen to a phone, or I mean have your phone conversation so loud, or watching your favorite show. It's a lot like smoking. Kasi hindi mo makokontrol yung air eh. You want to pollute the air you're breathing, but I don't want it.
Right.
But we can't contain the air. It's the same thing with sound. You can't contain it unless you have earphones. And since if we were all to watch whatever we want on the MRT, the LRT, on a Jeep, whatever, ang gulo. Everybody, it's going to be a cacophony of whatever, right? It's horrible. So if you don't want that, nobody wants that. Let's all put on our earphones and, you know, not invade each other's ear space or hearing space, diba? We share it kasi eh. It's a lot like, so you guys, sabagay, we're all radio. Pag public radio or you go on a frequency that can be broadcast all over, the rules apply to you. You can't curse, you can't do this. But if you're on cable, or see Howard Stern, he's on satellite, only people who buy the subscription to that, whatever, that channel, they will be the only ones who hear his content. So kung gusto nila ng bastos, puro bastos. Ibig sabihin, kids can be protected. Kids who are not, or people who don't like it, are not ready for those kinds of conversations. We keep it out of the public space. But for people who are mature enough to consume it, you can go look for it. So it's a lot. These things, actually, you have to break it down. You can't just say, wag tayong manood in public places. Bakit ba? Kasi the only way that you could convince them to stop it is if they know what is happening, what's the bad effect of doing that.
Yeah.
Nakakaistorbo. Paano kung ikaw gusto mo ng tahimik, ako gusto ko manood ng ano bang high energy show, Showtime or something, diba? How would that play out? And I think the first step that I'm making sense to me is on the train, right before it opens, ano ba, parating na yung train, in the public address system, konting paalala, kung para sa kaginhawahan ng ating biyahe, whatever, blah, 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 can we please put on the earphones? Diba? Galing, it's a reminder. So, sana nakikinig sila para, diba? It's a little nudge in the right direction.
Well, mob rules. So when you commute every day, that's part of your armor. Well, I haven't been in a private car for quite a while already, and you have that, and it's a luxury. But once you get out there and you join everybody else who has to commute and has to deal with other, be overstimulated with being in traffic and all, then maybe they're more attuned to having their devices out loud because everybody else it's doing it. But ako yan tinan mo. Dito, yung mga trains, there are quiet cars. There's certain lines. I think the East Rail line, the light blue line, has quiet cars. So that caters to those who want it quiet.
But it's
unlike
specific, like they'll announce
Yeah.
it, or you'll know
no,
this
no,
is a quiet car.
it's a quiet car. Yeah, there are visual signs.
Oh, see, yeah, there.
That point to that, but not all lines have that.
Okay.
In Japan, I think it's just practice that you just don't take a call while you're in a
Yeah.
Train.
subway ride.
On the train.
Oo.
No,
Sa
they're just
atin,
really-
bahala ka sa buhay mo. Kung
Right.
manood
Wala
ng NBA.
talagang pake.
Oo,
So I
ganun.
guess visual signs, like if you're on the MRT, LRT, on the bus, inside an elevator, it'd be nice if there were visual signs. Please no, there were signs during pandemic inside the elevators that say please no talking because of the spread of
Saliva.
Yeah, but not for the noise or anything. So that would help if there were signs up.
Or in the malls, right? As you enter a mall. Because some people, in a restaurant, you're listening or your kid is watching something and it's so loud.
Oh my gosh.
On their
yes,
iPads,
that's
yeah.
my pet peeve. Oh,
Yeah.
like
Just to quiet the kid, no?
Oh.
Yeah. I don't want to hear Baby Shark while I'm eating.
For the
Coco
1 millionth
melon.
time.
For the 1
Coco
million.
melon na ngayon.
As a
Coco
Coco melon.
kids.
Oh,
Oo.
sorry.
Coco melon.
Because they can listen to it on mute, They don't need the sound.
Or they can have their earphones, diba?
No,
That's
not
how
when
it
it's
is.
baby.
It's a baby, not an infant.
But yes,
Yeah.
I do see kids like, toddlers and 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds with their little iPads listening to really loud stuff. I don't know. Etiquette.
Kagabi
Etiquette.
sa waiting lounge, there was a mom with 3 kids. I understand, that's gonna be your break. That it will keep the kids occupied. But my God, it was on full volume.
For all of the kids?
There was just one gadget and 3 kids sharing, and their heads were all stuck together. But it was still really loud, and it was
Right.
already late. The flight was delayed. What else is new? But ang lakas talaga. Like I was 2 rows away from them, and I could still hear what it was that they were watching. So but it wasn't just them. Everyone else, the same thing. And I'm like, we're all sharing space here. There are some people trying to sleep. There are people sleeping. Obviously been waiting for their flight for hours. Parang lower it down. Like I feel like respeto lang sa mga ibang tao. Just feel free to watch whatever it is that you watch. And let's say you weren't able to bring headphones or earphones with you. Lower it down. You can still hear it. But then I guess because there are so many others also on loud, maybe that's the reason why they put it on full volume para marinig din siguro nila. I don't know.
Tsaka maingay sa airplane. The din of an aircraft.
No, we weren't even in the plane yet. We were just waiting to board.
But still, it's an airport, so may specific noise inside the waiting before boarding, di ba? Maingay rin ang airport. It's not an excuse to play everything out full volume, but it is what it is, and that's just the way of the world unless you ban gadgets altogether.
Kasi it's a new thing, right? This is fairly new. And by new, we mean ever since you could watch something, a video on your phone. That hasn't been 20 years, has it? Has it? Even so, that's relatively new in the way we move. Kasi parang on an airplane, you have your own screen. They give you your own headset. Because if all of you watch your own show,
There you go.
it'll be crazy.
Yes.
So to protect each other, because some people want to sleep, some people want to watch a drama, whatever the reason, we all want to watch and listen to what we want to watch and listen to. So since we have to share this space, we have to be mindful of where our space starts or ends and theirs start. So kasi here in the US, for example, I only noticed that when I flew to the Philippines via Philippine Airlines, medyo ganon. Ang daming, they don't care if you can hear. But I've ridden on Eva Air recently and, Delta and Korean Air. Hindi talaga eh. It's not. But everybody has earphones, even their children. And Mormon people, for example, they travel a lot with their kids. So, ang daming mga anak. So, kung lahat yon kakausapin mo or papanoorin mo ng something, di ang ingay. So, they already know, like, to bring their own headphones or your earbuds, whatever it is, you know? And I think it's just really an awareness. But because it's new, well, I suppose in the Philippines, kasi iba talaga yung dynamic ng Asians eh. We don't even care about personal space. That's the biggest reklamo ng mga puti when they visit China. Like the horror stories, honestly, of the people I've heard here in the US talk about, like, especially if it's their first time to go outside of the United States. And they go to China and they see how people... Culture shock, as in... The way they were telling stories, it was like, oh my God, it was the worst. Samantalang in Asia, if you go to Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Philippines, we're used to medyo everyone's in each other's business, diba? Parang di tayo masyadong affected. Pero sila parang they're really surprised, you know? Anyway.
I don't blame them.
Sorry, Jude, before you continue that, meron lang akong kailangan banggitin because our listeners get to consume and listen to us, hopefully using headphones and earphones as well. You guys get to enjoy the conversations for free, and that's because of our wonderful sponsors. So I just need to do a quick shout out to GoTime. Get ready to take control of your finances with GoTime Bank. Download the app now on Google Play or App Store and open an account in less than 5 minutes. So quick to experience next level banking at your fingertips. You can check out GoTime Bank's official social media pages. You will see that in the description for our caption. Or you can go to www.gotime, that's GOTYME.com.ph for more information. It's go time, and it's go time for what you were about to say, Jude.
What time is it? It's go time.
Go time.
It's good.
No, I was just gonna relate. I don't blame those Americans' first time in Asia, in the Far East, in the Orient, because just yesterday we went out as a family and it was rush hour already, and that's what I don't like when I venture out, like ride the train and go into a different town. After 4, it gets really busy, and it was especially packed, and you're really packed there like sardines. And we had to go to some stores by pasalubong, and I was the one inside one of these stores, and I was being jostled, and I didn't like to be jostled, especially yesterday for some reason. Kaya nainis na ako dahil naghahanap ako ng whatever to buy, and I was trying to get in touch with my wife. Ano ba yung pinapabili niya, that sort of thing. And I'm the one in the throng, and I wasn't looking forward to that of all days yesterday because as usual I prefer to venture out when there's less people before the schools come out.
Yeah.
Ayun. So, ganun talaga. As in, if pagbabagal-bagal ka, you will feel an elbow or somebody cut you off. And
Wait, so when you say jostled in the store, like it was
really that packed.
Tutulakan.
Wow.
Nagtutulakan.
Oh, it
was
an
packed?
electronic store, and I'm sure Al will enjoy kasi maraming...
And which I will
pwede to.
not enjoy.
Oh, sa labas lang talaga kayo.
Yeah.
Kasi just peering inside, it's just too many people. And so ganun. And in the trains as well. Yesterday was Friday, and it was the first weekend with the masks.
Mask off.
Mandate off. Okay.
So I guess people were a little bit extra going out, I guess. Felt that way. There were
Pwede
a
na
lot of
kasi
people
silang
on the
mag-lip
streets.
balm, Jude.
Pwede na. Go ahead, Monica.
I said, go ahead.
No,
I'll
yeah.
remember.
Lip balm and whatever. Lipstick sales were through the roof.
I bet. That's the first thing I did when there was no mask here. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I can wear my lipstick.
On the
Pero
first day
sana
that
pero sana hindi lang lipstick. Sana pati toothbrush, diba? Pati
Ayun na nga.
mouthwash, pati toothpaste.
yung the
thing.
news coming out of the first day of the mask mandate being lifted, the news was there was this one person who rode the train every morning during rush hour and was so disappointed in finding out yung kasabay niya every morning na nakamask na feeling niya napakaganda. Hindi pala. So that made, yun yung na-disappoint siya. It was a meme. It was...
Oh my God, was that news? Like, did they show
Yeah, it was
to just
on the day.
Sandali lang, Jude. Sana kagwapuhan din siya, okay?
Ayun na nga, ang kapal na mukha nito.
Yun! Okay,
Mascogenic.
You can probably infer that media outlets were covering whatever news would come out because
Yeah.
they only announced that the day before. And this was after finding out that Hong Kong was the last place on this planet to still have a mask mandate.
Yes.
So they acted swiftly and the first day, a lot of people were still wearing masks.
Yes.
And it turns out this one person who was wearing a mask throughout her commute in the morning and decided not to wear any, elicited a shock reaction from this guy who had taken a liking to her being masked and all.
So wait, did he put it on Twitter or something?
I don't know. Yeah, it was one of the
Platforms?
social media, maybe Facebook.
Oh my
yeah.
God, kapal ng mukha
He went
mo.
on a rant.
Oh my God.
Grabe, and it made the news.
Entitled. What an entitled
Kasi
SOB.
he's been looking forward to it every single
What a
morning. You
dumbass,
just,
no?
I know, communicating with the eyes.
Yeah.
At saka, the funny thing is that it was his imagination that took him to a different place of expectation, right? And then this girl is just trying to get to her work. Just following
Unawares,
rules.
maybe.
Unaware.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, Jude, did they show his face? Did this
No,
guy?
I didn't.
Oh.
Sa buwisit ko, parang bahala ka sa buhay mo. Nakakainis kang tao. Di ba? Parang siya yung tipong walang ginawa sa buhay niya kundi magreklamo about
Yeah.
this and that.
Yeah.
Worst kind of people. Oh my gosh.
Oh, but then yesterday on the same train ride, I spied a gentleman who was just a few feet away from me. Who stepped in, Lai Chikok, I think. This is on the red line going to Central from Shunwan. Anyway, he stepped in. Sabi ko, ang ganda nung tayo niya, ang ganda nung jacket niya. It was a patchwork, camouflage and
Nice.
Army
Fashionable.
Navy,
Nice.
Army Green, and but he was, he had obviously he was gay, but he was a good-looking guapings, an older man.
Jude, you have to stop yourself. It's 2023. You cannot say those things anymore.
Wait, what did I say?
He was obviously gay.
Yeah, he was obviously gay because he had the
Gay. Nakalagay.
The rainbow.
yeah.
He had the
Rainbow
pride.
armband.
He had the pride
I
armband.
apologize if I was being insensitive, pero that was what going in my head.
Yeah.
Full head of hair, movie star looks.
Oh my gosh,
Handsome.
guapo.
Intriguing.
Guapings. And for me, personally, much older than me and still looking so damn good. So
Right?
Wow.
Dapper.
props to Papa.
To Opa.
And he lasted only one stop and had to get off in Chengshawan, I think.
Did he have a mask
one
on?
stop lang. No, he didn't. Exactly.
Hindi
Yun na
niya
nga.
kinaya
Guwapo daw.
yung look
Guwapo,
mo.
guwapo lang.
Oo.
Bumaba na siya, Jude, dahil sa kakatingin mo, he didn't feel comfortable.
Oh, hindi ko nga nasundan sa escalator kasi ang daming ang tao. Nawala na siya sa... Oo, kasi...
Bala ka.
Sabi ko, idol. Yun na,
Yeah.
and I didn't mean anything derogatory or insensitive about it, but I was just admiring a fellow human.
Human being.
Fashion.
No,
Oh.
I'm just saying that because I think nowadays, talaga, especially the younger ones, they're waiting for
Yes.
for older people to say something that's so
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah, tell me
Yeah.
about my daughter would be the first one to
Yeah.
splash my face with cold water with a comment.
Like, you're not
Kasi,
supposed to say that anymore.
Yeah, roll her eyes and
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
snide at the same time.
Oh my gosh, Jude, I want you to watch the Bill Burr live at Red Rocks. Because he ends his routine with that. Meron kasi siyang nakasalubong sa New York. Na sabi niya, it's a lesbian, obviously. Sabi
Right.
niya, obviously, it's a lesbian. Tapos sabi niya, I know. How do I know that she's a lesbian? I just saw her and here I am judging her, right? But if you, tas yan na, he starts the whole thing and it's not just funny, but it's so spot on.
On point,
He
yeah.
plays a game. He says, okay, let's play a game. I'll give you a word and something in your mind an image will pop up. So sabi niya, carpenter, lawyer,
All right, we're gonna need you to
Athlete.
say that again,
Gay.
Del,
lesbian, sabi niya.
just for our.
Oh no, I lost
For
it.
our sake.
Oh no.
What?
You'll have to repeat that,
It
Del.
came in late.
Oh, we won't be able to react to what you're saying to us. Okay, we'll get her back in just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
They kicked me out, guys.
You got kicked out by the woke police for telling
Yes. Yes, guys, that's exactly what I thought of. Sabi ko, they are so listening. They're listening.
Yeah, you were telling the Bill Burr being.
Okay, yeah, you have to say the Bill
yeah.
Burr story again.
Well, I'll just catch it because I'm going to ruin it. But it's so hilarious, but so true. Like, he's trying to pinpoint, like, are we not supposed to have an image? Because there are things that we think of when we say mother. There's an image, a stereotype. It doesn't mean that everyone in that category looks like that. But if you had to bet, let's say your life was on the line and you see this girl, who look, and then he describes it. I don't want to repeat it because they will come for me. So, but
It's in the audio. But
Well,
it's the last part, and it's one of the last spiels in his show, right?
Yeah. Kasi nagkasalubong sila nung lesbian eh. Dalawa lang sila, New York. And it's funny because we had talked about the etiquette of walking in New York.
Yeah.
So here he is. So he sees this girl and she's like walking with her arms, like kind of swinging violently. And he does the most normal thing to do as a New Yorker. He moved one lane. Well, what do you know? She moves again. And he thought, okay, maybe, it's one of those things I move, but then she decides to move. So he moves another lane. The girl moves again. And then he goes, this is it. And he's like, they're charging into each other. So this is how he describes the whole encounter. Anyway, that's the part. Just watch it. I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Something to catch this weekend.
Kasi the woke police will come for us.
But
That
at least
woke police.
it's not just me they're coming for.
That was gonna be.
Now it's you and I, Jude. Now it's you and I.
Damay na.
Well, actually, I already think this will get me in trouble since it's Women's Month, right? It's International Women's Month. I remember attending a round table talk years and years ago, maybe I would say 15 years ago. And the question that they asked the panel was, what do you think separates a man from a woman? Like, especially in your career, in your, whatever. And there was a girl who was the first astronomer in the Philippines. At saka mga people who do well in their field. And then my turn, so they asked me. And I was thinking about it because everyone gave their answers. By the time it got to me, I said, it's the uterus. It's the uterus. And they laughed and I said, it's funny, but it's also true. Because of this part of our body that we do not share with men. this thing that creates life, preserves life for 9 months. We gestate. We bring these lives on the planet. Nobody on this planet, no human being or anyone in the animal kingdom has been born into this world without a mother. Except maybe seahorses, right? But anyway, for everybody, it's a mother that brought you into this world. And I said, so if I was in my 20s or early 30s, I think. I said, if you put me against a man in his 30s, we're the same age. At some point, the life trajectory of both of us would include marriage, let's just say. But a man continues his career after he's gotten married and become a father. For the most part, it doesn't change. It's all up to him. But a woman is not like that. Why do you think not a lot of women progressed in radio after a certain age? Because most of them, for one, will have to get married and have children. And then you will, whatever you say to yourself, at some point you're going to say, I want to take care of my children. This is the most important thing. So I said,
Preach.
so this uterus, this thing inside of me. And it's not just that. I will have to bleed for maybe something like over 30 years of my lifetime. And this will rule my mood. This will rule my finances. This will rule how I move, how I play sports, how I do not play, all of these things. That's what's different. Oh, that's what a woman is. And I know in this day and age, everyone's going to say, but what about women? Women, quote unquote, who are not going to have children. I go, yeah, that's possible. But the potential to bring life and what it does to a woman's life, if she wants to be Hollywood, pag ang babae nanganak na, nag-iiba kasi talaga eh. Whether that's physical, frame of mind, the body, the face, diba? Everything changes for her so drastically than if you compare a man who just recently became a father. So in that respect, a woman is a certain experience separate from men, being a man. So I don't know entirely what being a man entails, but I know what a woman's life entails, more or less. Bakit ko ba sinabi yun? Kasi nga International Women's Month. So, no, it's just it's really something that I think this has occurred to me since becoming a mother and being intrigued with the divine feminine, the feminine. What do we bring to this world? Because I'm not saying men don't. They do a lot. But I want to talk about what women go through in their lifetime because for the most part, I don't think we're aware.
Yeah.
Like, I was so surprised because my goal before was I really wanted to be the last woman or the first woman on radio to still do radio na 50. That was my thing. And it swak kasi, hindi ako makahanap ng love. So sabi ko, sige, diba, yun na lang, that's my goal. That will be my goal as long as I am good at it or the audience still wants it, the management still wants you to do it. So I go, I'm going to take it to the very end. Well, what do you know? I have children. Kaya ko pa with one. With the second one, oh my gosh, the call to nest, to raise your young. I'm an animal, right? We're all animals. So that's primary. That's primal. That's primary for you to raise your children if you choose to have them. So that's what for me being a woman is. And on International Women's Month, you have to honor that. Not just if you're not a woman, look at the women around your life. What have they done for your life? Diba? In your whatever, in your career, what did women bring to you? But then again, don't be so overboard with, women. Because we're only saying this because for the most part, our plight is not really discussed. Well, now, medyo na, dami nang nagsasalitang mga babae. Bagay, nananahimik nga ba ang babae? We may not be in there, but in the household, we're taka. Anyway, I just want to honor being a woman because for me, the older I got, the more I really made peace with being a woman. Kasi when I was younger, it's not that I wanted to be a man, but I didn't want the load of being a woman, the restrictions of it, the things you can't say, the things you can't do, even if it's right. If it comes from a woman, it's not right. Parang why, diba? All of these questions. Like what you said, diba, Fran, when in your industry or any industry, if a woman becomes as demanding as men, she will be called a bitch. And not in a good way, in a bad way. It's as if you had missed the mark of being a woman.
Right.
And now you've gone beyond. And so now you're like, you're a woman. You know? And so, anyway.
But a man who does the same at work would be lauded, diba?
Yeah.
Pero if it's a woman, she's a bitch.
That was
And
really
it
good.
hurts more to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think men don't care. Like you call them whatever. For the most part, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Pero women care. Why do women care? Because one of our attributes as female of the species is that we want to be likable. That's why women form groups. Diba? We want to be liked. We want to belong. We want to appease men because we need them to do things for us. But we can't boss them around. So we're going to try other ways because we're not strong enough. For the most part, we're not as strong as the men we're with.
Physically.
I think physically, you can be strong emotionally, etc. But on a physical level, I think, who was that? In one of the shows about serial killers, Rachel Adams talks about, sabi niya, do you know that a female can just be killed by a man, just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that. If a man snaps and he's big, what do you think? He's so
Right.
strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when she said that in the show, I was like, oh, fuck, that's right. That's true. And then, and these are things we should be aware of as women.
I like
I don't know why it only came to me at this age.
Well, as we get older, we get wiser. I mean, it's weird, right? I mean, and then it's up to us to try to let the younger females know. I really like that. You have to honor being a woman and whatever that entails. And I remember specifically, sometimes I would get really angry when, like, Al would say, "Oh, you're going to get your period. That's why you're like that." I'm like, and I'd get like really, really picon. But I'm like, well, now I don't because, well, yeah, I'm going to get my period and I'm a little hormonal right now. And then that's how it is, right? I mean, I'm feeling all these things. So yeah, yes, that's why. So, parang, because I always thought it was condescending, right? Like that he was saying this to me. I'm like, no, it's not. It's just, he's just stating the fact, right? I'm like, yes, the fact is I'm going to get my period. I'm a little on edge because there's a lot of things physically, biologically that's going on in me. It doesn't happen to you, kasi. It doesn't happen to men, right? They don't have those hormones. And yeah, I'm going to re-listen to this podcast and what you said, Del. It was very, very enlightening.
Remember what our guest, when we were talking about menses, what she said, that women go through this cycle every single month, wherein a man goes through it an entire year. Satin, it's every single month. Recently, hormones has been a major topic for me and in my thoughts, kasi nga my hormones have been a little bit odd lately. So I had to set up an appointment with this hormone specialist. She's an OBGYN. I had to wait a month and a half for my appointment. And when I went to see her, what she said was that you're not born with hormonal imbalances. It happens through the course of your life, maybe because of your lifestyle, your stresses, your nutrition. And I have to wait for quite some time to get the results of what is happening with my body because I have to wait for cycles. So for one, anything that's related to women's health is expensive. Like, I'm not even going to tell you the bill that I walked away with after that appointment with tests and still additional tests. But I have to do this one test. It's called the Dutch test. I was supposed to have done it when I left for Davao. But then because my cycle is irregular, now I have to wait for my next cycle. So just even just to find out what is happening, it's, I have to wait a while. And it was making me think about una, like, oh my God, it's so annoying that we have to deal with these hormones every single month. And I'm like, no, but if I keep hating on myself for being a woman and being built the way I am, it's not going to help. So instead, I was thinking of how I can appreciate being a woman. Remember how she said, when you're fertile, when you're in heat, that's the best time to be presenting. You have this boost of confidence. I was like,
Right.
okay, let me use that. So now instead of hating on you being a woman, think of how you can make it work for you. But yeah, I just wanted to share that hormones, that's a very unique thing that we women have to deal with every single month.
And also not just in terms of cycle. Let's just say, since it's Women's Month, a woman is more likely to suffer a sexually transmitted disease. Men are carriers, but women are the ones who suffer the consequences of it.
Who will manifest it.
Because most men could be carriers, but they never have a problem. A woman,
No
on the other hand,
symptoms.
because we are the receptacles, right? We are the ones being penetrated. So that enters our body like that, and then we're also susceptible to it. So sa ganun pa lang, diba, dehado na ang babae. Even when the TED Talks now, that look for the TED Talks that deal with menopause, the correlation between menopause and I think Alzheimer's or dementia. Kasi the hormones that we're talking about, that we talk about, that we go through, right? That we have coursing through our body. Syempre, when you reach menopause, everything changes, like drastic. And it
Right.
affects the brain.
Ah.
It's so when you research on this, you can see the difference between a man's life in general, what it will go through, and what a woman's life and what we go through. And it's so different. It's just so different. But you have to make peace with it, that you are a woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
And-
yes.
And right now, I love
Embrace
being a
it.
woman.
You have to
Yeah.
embrace it. You have to honor it. Yeah, like when we were younger. Yeah, like you're like, I hate this. I don't want to be this.
Yes.
But that is every part of us. That's what makes us us, and that's really,
Us.
yeah. They do say that the women are the stronger sex, right? Maybe not physically, but overall. And I am and I just realized this maybe in the last year or so, or maybe last 2 years, that the company that I run, that's female led, most of the people in the top positions in my company are women. And the ones that I can rely on, I mean, aside from Al, Al's my partner in crime, and that I got, he's stepped up a lot, and he's there by my side. But everybody else, from Al and myself and down, the ones that I know I can count on are all female. All of them. My head of HR, my head of ops, the admin. They're all women. And these, for sure, I mean, I can talk to them. The head of my commissary is also female. I'm like, well, and then sometimes there's like, seeing it na man in a position. Oh my God, they let me down. They really fucking do. Like, cause and then it's like, cause life will serve you curveballs all the time, right? And myself and my company and everybody else included. But then when life serves curveballs to the men, but they break down. They can't fucking function. Like, what the? Can't function.
My friend before, he used to hire for his company and said, I will never hire a man, a Filipino. This is distinctly Filipino though. He says, I don't want to hire a Filipino man. I would rather hire a woman who has less credentials.
Yep.
Kasi sabi niya, ang Pilipina, pwede mong utusan, pwede mong i-correct. At pag if something comes up that's not in the plan, they will find a way to deal with it. They don't stop until the job is done. Sabi niya, ang Pilipinong lalaki, hindi mo pwedeng pagsabihan. Kasi the ego is so fragile.
Mm-hmm.
Pag like you said, pag merong, like there's a roadblock. If there's a roadblock, they don't know how to go around it. They don't know how to solve the problem. Yeah. And so he was saying, why would I hire a Filipino man? I'd rather hire a woman. Mm-hmm. So, and that's distinctly Filipino. I've heard this from 3 friends of mine. They all say the same thing.
It's true. It's true. Because all of these women have had major things going on in their life, yet they still perform. They still do their job. And I remember this lang kasi I had to have a sit-down meeting with one of my guy heads. He's male. And I said, hey, listen, I really don't like drama. I don't like excuses I don't like excuses bathed in drama. Like, oh, I couldn't do it because ganyan. Oh, no. I said, no, just tell me first why you couldn't do it. And then that's it. Like, it's okay. I don't need the extra shenanigans.
I don't need the stories.
I don't need the extra stories. It's okay. Let's just deal with it straightforward. And so he had some stuff happening in his life, right? And I said, well, I understand that, and that will never go away, but it doesn't excuse that you did not perform on your job, right? And then I had to tell him, I said, okay, I'm going to tell you this, and it's very personal, but I want to explain to you why I'm talking like this and why I'm so frustrated and quite frankly disappointed in your, performance level. Because I was really upset because I know he has potential. So I wanted to explain why I was reacting this way. And I said, I run this company and so many people rely on me, and I understand that. But then there was one point that I had a miscarriage, and I was in the hospital. And I was in the hospital waiting for the baby to come out, and I was on my laptop taking care of business, okay? And I did it for a couple of hours, and lo and behold, after I had finished that, and I closed the laptop, lumabas yung baby, right? And I said, I'm only telling you this not to make you feel sorry for me. I'm telling you this because I did what I had to do while I could still do it. Right? Because I was just waiting. I didn't feel sorry for myself. I didn't sleep. But I knew I had this responsibility just to show up to do. Because if I didn't pay these things or I didn't settle these things, what's going to happen to the company, right? Mm-hmm. And who knows what's going to happen after the miscarriage happens, right? So let me just get the things that I can do right now done. So I had to tell him this, and he's like looking at me. And I'm like, this is what I mean. Sabi ko, don't give me bullshit. I know what happens. Life happens. Right? Life fucking happens all the time. It's not going to stop. But you can control what you can do. It's like if you want this, you want to keep this job, show me that you can do this. Right? Because I think I also was also rationalizing with myself. Like, am I being too mean? What did he
say?
He was like, yes. Okay. Yeah, he couldn't say much. I guess if somebody gives you a bombshell like that, what do you say, right? And I understood it.
Exactly.
But I said, I just want you to absorb this and take it however. Kasi this is ultimately how, I want this run. And how do you do your job? Anyway, yun lang.
I want to hear from Jude. As somebody who's been surrounded by women and still attracting women into his life, like the 3 of us, and you're stuck with us, so you have no choice. We'll keep drawing you in. What do you think of women now? Especially since you're with different generations of women.
Yeah, is that your question?
They're inescapable. So
inevitable.
Is that a good thing though?
Yeah. For the
doesn't have
better
a
part, it
choice.
is. Yeah, you might as well deal with it.
I don't know, Archie. I feel like you're such a well-rounded male. I mean, you're a better
Really?
person being surrounded by females,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
I talk to you guys more, or anybody from the trigger alert, fairer sex, more than I interact with men. I only interact with males when I go down and play basketball. So that's where the bulk of my interaction, aside from my son and the doorman guard in the building, but for the most part, it's with you guys, of course, with Cess and my daughter, who I ask, is that time of the month? Because it triggers certain. I have to check. I checked yesterday. I told my wife, is she okay? It might be inferring that. And sometimes, if it's really painful, no go. Either she stays home or we all stay home, and parang ganon. So I have to be. I'm not saying everybody should, but I am as a father to Eve. I have to be sensitive to that. We were on our way to church maybe a few months back, and we had to turn back, ride the bus back again. And my wife and my son ended up going to the anticipated mass, and I just stayed with her at home kasi nga she wasn't feeling it. So yung ganon. You have to deal with it. You have to be open to dealing with it. As I think I have. Otherwise, we wouldn't reach, short of year 5 already
Thank
for
you.
this enterprise of ours. So
We're not easy.
Oh yeah.
No,
that's
we're a handful
the understatement of the year.
of the decade.
Times 3, a magnitude of 3. Hindi lang 3, but the magnitude of 3. Diba? So it's easy, and I allow myself to get lost in that, and because you just you can't control it. You just why would you?
Gotta
Why
live
would
with
you?
it.
Why would
Why
you?
would
Sabi ni
you?
Jude, ano yung sabi? Women, you can't live with them, you can't kill them.
Might as well join the fray.
Yeah. Well, we'd like to revert this back to our.
All right. While we're waiting for Del to
One more
sign
down.
back
kicked out
in,
again.
I just want to make a comment. When
Yes.
Jelly mentioned her hormone consultation, see, that's the thing. There is why does it have to be, number one, hard to get an appointment because of highly specialized it is, and number two, to cost that much, meaning it's not readily available to anybody. So coming from just hearing what little I know, something that should be available for those who go through it.
Yes.
I don't know if it's an age thing or general women's health. You gotta know an OBGYN for sure.
Yes.
Right? But if you
Yes.
want to take it further, understand how your cycle is, it's gonna cost you extra to be able to, I wouldn't say control it, just
To understand
knowing how it
it.
affects
To know how
you.
to
Yeah,
handle
understand.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live with it, right?
I know.
Well, the just to be clear, the consultation itself was normal consultation rate. It's really the tests that were costly. For one, I did not a food intolerance test. It's a food inflammation test because she's talking about how I could possibly have a leaky gut. And that can also affect the hormones, and the hormones in my body can also affect my nutrition. So she needed to check everything just to be able to narrow it down to, so what's causing the problem?
yeah.
And all of that will take a while. I have to wait for the food inflammation test results to come, which usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The Dutch test has to be done within, I think, 10 to 12 days from the first day of my period. like I said, I was supposed to have done it in Davao, but then my period came, so now I have to wait for my next cycle. And the reason it was difficult to get an appointment with this lady is because she's a well-known naturopathic, holistic doctor. So her first resort, her first line of treatment's always food.
Okay.
You know,
What you take in.
yes. And I like that. That's what I
Yes.
wanted. Kaya ano, but I'm excited to find out what's happening.
But yeah,
I'll keep you guys
it is
posted.
difficult. I mean, women's health here. I mean, a lot of the young women in general, young and old, don't really know where to go. You know,
Yeah.
Jude. So yeah, it's difficult.
It's not available sa barangay health center for sure.
Oo.
Sometimes they have like, pero it's like the bare, like the pap
Yeah,
smear.
bare bones. Oo.
Oo,
Yeah,
pap
the
smear
basic
lang.
stuff.
The
Hanggang dun lang
basics.
talaga.
Oo.
Tapos karamihan sa mga barangay gatherings specifically targeting women, ano yan, mostly reproductive system,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
control, birth control.
Birth control.
What's readily available would be mga IUD, pills, siguro, condoms, but then that wreaks havoc then in women's cycle, diba?
Also,
So-
your system's a lot more intricate than just popping pills, you know?
Oh, and you're like just handing them out
Yeah.
like flyers.
But that's the area where it casts the widest net for the general population. For
Correct.
that. I guess not doing it will cause more problems than not having it around. It's just-
Pauline Giselle, that was our
Yeah.
expert.
Guest.
Yeah.
Oh, she was our guest
For
yeah.
Bloodbath, that episode, Bloodbath. Check it out if you haven't listened
I
to
still
it yet.
follow her on IG. She still does it, and I think if anybody's interested, I think she has like online seminars, or you can get her book. Actually, I read her book or the little PDF,
The PDF.
file. Yeah, it was very informative. It makes sense. So that was a nice jump off point. I mean, I never really delved any deeper, but I do know now that I should like eat certain things when it's certain times of my cycle, just so I won't get a migraine or I won't feel crappy, stuff like that. Anyway, Del, you were going to say something because your internet got cut.
I know it's a little wonky. No, I mean, if you are a woman listening to the podcast, and we do know because the data is available that more women listen to us than men.
Yes.
So on International Women's Day, I mean, what is it that makes you a woman in your mind? Like, what is it? The good and the bad? Because so far we've discussed the good that women, good attributes of women, but we also have a lot of toxic ones.
Yeah, we do.
Maybe we do. And we'll discuss
do.
that another time because
Right.
we're going over an hour right now. But just to say that if you're a woman listening to us, or if you're a man listening to us, think about the women in your life and take stock of what they've brought your life. Because not all women are great. Some women are shitty, just like some men are shitty. But
Right.
hopefully you are surrounded by women who can be the epitome of what feminine comfort can bring. Comfort, companionship. What do women bring into your life? And if you're a woman, what is it that you offer the world as a woman? Not as a human being, but specifically as a woman. Kasi ako na, if you ask me at 49, I know my answer. Giving birth to me has been the most transformative thing in my life. It has affected not just who I am, but how I relate to people.
Yeah.
I am definitely kinder, more patient. I allow more, leeway when the people, because you're a mother. And that the role of taking care of your young is somewhat a distinctly female experience. Kasi hook, line, and sinker, our brain makes us feel this need to keep our families together, to raise our children well. It's on our shoulders. It has always been. And as you go through life, you awaken to that. And I have awakened to it after I've had 3 kids. In any case, late man o hindi, look at your life and think about what the presence of a woman has done in your life. And if you care to share it, please tell us. If not, show the women in your life how much they've showed up for you. Because some of them don't know that they're great, right?
Yeah.
So make sure you talk to the women in your life.
Ang daming quotable quotes si
I like
Delamar.
that.
This episode. Maganda. Daming pang audiogram.
Kasi anxious siya today eh. Kaya lumalabas yung mga ano niya.
Ay, yun.
I think maybe
yun.
this is it. Like, you gotta let it out. Good one. I'm
Ako ba
impressed with-
magtatapos?
Yeah.
Yes,
A
sir.
man.
Yes.
Yes,
Kasi ako
sir.
nag-start. Kasi it's the roulette that we go around that who starts and, well, who ends the program. What was it? Mike Myers. Whoa, man.
Yes, oh man.
Was it? So there you go.
Yes.
But it's just one word, and what a word it is. For Eve's gang, Delamar, Monica Francesca, Jelly Victor, this is Jude Rocha. The conversation continues, and if you have an inkling for some music, might as well check out the Eavesdrop Radio episode where we celebrate Women's Month and Women's Day. That is also streaming exclusively on Spotify. This podcast available everywhere you can have podcasts, even in outer space. Don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself. Launch yourself up and get in orbit. This is the Eavesdrop. We'll see you next time.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.